Senator Ray.
Thank you very much, Mr Chair. I just want to ask a couple of questions just to get some clarification from the Minister before I talk about the 3 SOPs under my name on the table. The first was, I think he was saying earlier that under National's watch there has been no increase greater than 2% except for this most recent one in MPs' pay. Am I right in that, Mr Woodhouse, that was your comment? Because that's certainly not what the Parliamentary Library has said, where they've described the percentage increases in MPs' pay under the current regime from 2010-11, 2.9%, 2011-12, 5.2%, 2% in 2012-13, 2.2% in 2013-14. There have been significant increases in MPs' pay, and they are percentage increases, which means, of course, that compared to those on lower incomes who are getting a similar, and it's very rare that they would, a similar increase, MPs' pay is still going up considerably more in cash terms. And that is where there's a significant failure in this bill that the Green Party intends to remedy with our SOP number 57, because this bill still applies a percentage increase. So if there's a 1.5% or whatever it is increase rising out of the QES calculation, and that is applied to MPs, we still get more cash in our pockets than most of the rest of the public sector. I mean, that's the problem. So our wages will continue to grow, and the gap between MPs and the rest of the population will continue to grow when you use a percentage formula. Because percentage formulas, when you're talking about pay increases, is a very blunt tool. Percentage increases sound good because everyone's, in theory, getting the same. But in fact, when you have an increasingly divided society, it means that those who get richer faster, and those at the bottom stay stuck. So the Green Party's solution to this, sir, that we announced in March last year, so has been available for the government to consider for some time, is to attach MPs' pay not to percentage increases in the median wage, but to nominal increases. So if the median wage goes up by $50 a year, MPs' wages go up by $50 a year. If it goes up by $200 a year, MPs' wages go up by $200. If it goes down under our SOP, if people lose forward momentum in their wages, in the median wage, then so do MPs. And if you look, some of you will have seen the calculations that we sent out, in at least one of the years, 2010-11, if our proposal was in place and had been in place since 2007, in 2010-11, MPs' pay would have gone down because the nominal median wage went down. And so this is why we think it's so important to attach it to real incomes and the real lives of ordinary New Zealanders, so that we are directly connected to their lived experience of their place in the economy. Now, you know, for MPs, it might not be a problem. Losing $500 a year in our pay isn't necessarily going to mean we're going to have problems buying milk and bread, right? Because we all get paid pretty bloody well in this place. But for those on low wages, and particularly on median wage and wages lower than that, it does make a difference. Every dollar makes a difference, and we are shielded from that. We make the decisions about the dollars that they get, and we are shielded from the reality of that. Hell, I can't even get the Prime Minister to come to a Decile 1 school to meet with the kids there who have difficulties who don't have lunch every day. If we are that separated out from the community we're supposed to be here to represent, of course we are going to make decisions that are not in their best interest, but instead are in ours, which is exactly what the Minister's bill, as he's put forward, is doing. It makes it look like he's doing something useful. It's essentially the maintenance of the status quo. It locks in increases in MPs' pay on a percentage basis, and thereby increases the inequity between MPs and the community we are here to represent. We can change that at virtually no cost to ourselves. I agree with whoever it was on the national side who said we aren't here for the money, right? Yeah, I totally agree with that. If that's the case, why then are we so concerned to make sure we lock in pay increases for ourselves? Nobody else gets anything like that kind of certainty in their pay, including the staff who work in this place. Nobody gets that level of certainty. Why can't we, Mr Chair? Thank you, Mr Chair. Why can't we allow ourselves to be connected in this way to the rest of the community? So, Mr Chair, I strongly urge members to look at our amendment. It's SOP number 57. I do just want to acknowledge the staff from the Clerk's office who have managed to prepare these 3 SOPs in a very short period of time for the House. To have a look at the calculation there, yes, it uses algebra too. No, I don't pretend to understand it. I'm very grateful for those who do and are able to interpret our intentions into this technical bill. It does mean that we would have a direct pay relationship with the majority of the community, that it would be in our best interest then to improve the circumstances of everybody in our community, not just the wealthy few. That is our responsibility. It's our responsibility as government. On that side of the House, it's our responsibility as a parliament to be making decisions always in the best interests of the majority of New Zealanders, and particularly in the economic interests of the most vulnerable. This bill gives us a chance to do that in a very demonstrable, physical way. Where we are affected, MPs would be affected by our poor decisions that leave poorer New Zealanders worse off. And that would be a true connection that we could make with our community. So I urge members to support this SOP. Thank you, Mr Chair.